now, before we get to Vegas, I see Vegas on the backstage. We have one more guest here. We're going to bring on Kris Tuttle from IPO Candy and SPACvest. He's been on our show before. Kris, how you doing this morning? You've had lots of good picks for us. Mobileye was one recent one, which did great after the IPO. But we want to bring you on here to talk about ChatGPT. It was AI that had on our radar yesterday, for a couple days now because of ChatGPT, and you told us YEXT may be the better way to go. And since you brought that up, I mean, the stock has exploded. It was $7.25 when I got in, when we had the conversation in our chat room. So tell the world about YEXT and why you think this is a better play on ChatGPT than AI is. So while he's getting his settings checked, I'll also let you guys know there was massive call volume yesterday on YEXT on the February 750 strikes. Yep, February 750 strikes. I guess there was a lot of trading because I only see open interest of 3,400. Also, the March 750 strikes had high call volume, so something definitely going on there. It's having a big gap up this morning, up 7%.
Okay, testing.
I hear you now. Okay.
All right, sorry about that, Ben. Well, yeah, obviously, ChatGPT, AI, all that. AI, so it just reminded me of this company, Yext, that we covered the IPO. They came public in 17, I think. And I kind of left it for dead. The CEO was a nutcase a little bit, at least to me. And they focused, they had the AI back then, but they were really focusing on like lead generation and stuff like that, like, the old Groupon model almost. And anyway, I wasn't interested. The stock is actually held together. They put a new management team in. They pivoted the business to be more of an enterprise business around answering customers' questions, right? Which is like, you're
talking about AI right now or YEXT? I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Yext.
Oh, Yext. Okay. All right.
So their whole business right now is based on helping companies just have their customers get answers to their questions, which is, exactly how the GPT model works, right? So essentially, they're a search company that's based on text and questions, right? That's their current business. And they have not talked about ChatGPT yet because they're on an off quarter. If you look at their last Q&A of their quarterly conference call, none of the analysts even brought it up because it hadn't emerged yet onto the scene. So these guys are actually in a perfect position to not only, do some things with ChatGPT, which, if announced, as we can see in this market, can definitely move the stock. But, a couple of other things I wanted to mention. These guys their fundamental business is doing well. So they're getting competitive wins. They, there's someone calling me. They just won a deal with where they're powering the search for like Square for their seller community. So they've got a buyback in place. They just turned profitable. Their guidance is around 400 million for this year, which is about 2x. Let's call it maybe 2.5x their market cap. So these guys they definitely are going to take this technology and probably add it to the mix. And what it will get them right away is all of their customers would instantly have the power of ChatGPT driving their customer interaction experience for essentially almost no incremental work on the customer's part. So all of Yext customers would be able to leverage it. And it could catalyze their business. So I see this as two things. One, I brought it up to you and the group because I'm like, you know what? There's a big trade here because looking at what happened with AI, people are going to be looking for these things. And if this company says something or does a release or adds it to the product line, there's going to be a significant trade opportunity. And the valuation is undemanding. They're good fundamentals. Longer term, with the new management in place and the real business they have, this could catalyze the business to be much more effective than it has been in the past, which would mean like a fundamental reason why this could drive their revenue and earnings for, a couple of years. I'm not making that call because there's more work to do, but it's got the benefit of being a great near-term trade, and it could catalyze into a longer-term fundamental growth story that like legitimate investors would want to own.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are the trades I love. It's a perfect setup for me from a story trading perspective because it's got the sentiment, it's got the fundamentals, it's got the technicals too. Is this a 52-week high? I mean, it's definitely in a breakout zone and it's in a big gap here with, we'll see. Maybe Vegas will comment on it when she comes in, but it's got like almost all four pillars. Doesn't really have the catalyst yet. So the catalyst will, if they issue that news release on ChatGPT, then everything's going to go. And I love that there's not much social media chatter on this yet, Kris. I don't know if you noticed. I saw you post something on StockTwits, and that board is completely dead. Imagine if people find this. I mean, this thing can go bonkers.
Yeah, and Yext is, the price and the positioning. It's a perfect name for, the retail community to get this thing started in terms of trading volume and price. And like I said, this could be a legitimate institutional stock. It reminds me a little bit of like a HubSpot in the early days. They have to execute. I've never liked a stock before, although it actually got to like 25 back in 18. If you look way back, post the IPO, but yeah, this is, this is a real opportunity for the company. I think it's got all the hallmarks that you mentioned, Ben, in terms of a really good near-term trading opportunity that I'm going to be doing some work on it. I'm going to get a demo of their current platform, hopefully this week, maybe next week. But I'm going to dig in further to see if, this could actually catalyze the business to be, who knows, right? I'm going to do the analysis first and figure it out later. But it's certainly got the potential to be a, fundamentally good long-term story as well.
Yep, sounds great. And I've had, by the way, many people who I respect telling me about YEXT just yesterday, and I told someone else about it who's a great fundamental researcher, and everyone who's looked at it, I've been getting the thumbs up from all kinds of people I trust on this. So, Kris, thanks for bringing that to the community. Where can people follow you? Where do you want to send them? IPO Candy, SPAC Vest?
Yeah, best place is IPO Candy. That's where we're doing all our micro cap stuff and the things that I think will appeal a lot to.
That's IPOcandy.com?
That's the place.
Awesome. Thank you, Kris.
Ben. All right.
All right.